So I'll bring it up on the screen. So last day we dealt with the first three adjustments. So now we're moving on to including the sale of scrap materials, 800 received from the sale of obsolete machinery. This machinery cost 3.6 and was sold. The only entry made following the transaction was a debit in the bank account with the amount received. But we've debited the bank account and we've included it in the sale of scrap materials. So I'm going to take that out of sale of scrap materials. So I need to go to my question and I find sale of scrap. So sale of scrap material is listed as 8,400 and I have that in my, down here at the end of my account. So it's equals, so it's minus, so it's less sale of scrap material, 8,400. And that sale of scrap material is going to be less by this obsolete material, so I'm going to take that out, so that actually becomes a plus. So sale of scrap material is now 7,600. Now we need to deal with the depreciation side of this. 800 received from sales obsolete material. The machinery cost 3.6 and was sold. The only entry made. So I'm going to need to work out my disposal. I'll need to change the fixed assets and the provision for depreciation for the machinery. And I'll also need to work out, did I make a profit or loss when I sold it? Okay. So I'm just going to do down here, I'm just going to do the rough work to go with this.
So you're question 11 or 12?
I'm doing 11. Okay, you're doing 12, but I'm showing you the way I do question 11 because you'll be doing the same thing in question 12. So, the machinery. So I have cost. Then I'm going to take away my provision for depreciation. And that will give me the net book value of the thing that I'm getting rid of. Then I'll take out the trade-in, which in this case is €800. And that will give me a profit or a loss on disposal. If it's a profit, then that would be add other income. If it's a loss, then that would be an expense. Okay? So the thing cost 3,600. And I bought on 30/6/2003 and it was sold on whatever. So I had it for all of 2004, 5, 6, that's 3 years. And I had it for 6 months here. So that's 3 years, 6 months. And I had it for 9 months there. So that's 4 years and 3 months. I had it for, okay? So I'm just going to put that there. So 4 years, 3 months. Now, how much is the depreciation every year? And we see this is machinery. Plant and machinery is 10% of cost. So that'll be multiplied by 10%. So it's 3.6 times 0.1, that's 10%, and times 4.25, 440 years. So that means that the net book value on the day I got rid of it is 2070. I traded in for 1800, so that means I made a loss, okay, of the difference. You okay with that? Okay, now, so I need to put those numbers in here. So I'll put the loss in first. So 1270 is the loss, and that's going to be an administration expense. So loss on disposal. And that was 1270. Now, next thing I need to do is I need to go to my fixed asset. So plant and machinery, I need to adjust those figures there accordingly. Now, so I'll get the starting figures I have up here. So plant and machinery cost 90 and the net book value now is 28,100. So I'm just going to put those in there now. Cost 90 grand. And so the accumulated depreciation will be the difference between these two numbers here. 90 grand minus 28,100. So that's what the accumulated depreciation is at the moment. But I'm going to need to take away from that the depreciation on the thing I sold. So that's 1530. I'll be taking that away because that item is now gone. Minus 1530. And I'll take away the 3.6 from the 90 grand. Are we okay with that so far? So just double check, I've done all of it. So there's the numbers I need to record. Now the 800 trade-in, it says, I think in the question, that was put in the bank. The only entry was debit of the bank account, so I put a debit, which is the correct side, okay, with the 800. And the credit I would have put in is the 800 that was put into the sale of obsolete machinery. So I've taken it out of sale of obsolete machinery and put it into the correct account. Are we okay with that now, Aaron? Yeah, okay. Then the suspense figure that arises as a result of discount received 200 is entered only in the discount account. So back to revision of suspense from last year. What are the two accounts involved when we have discount received?
Discounted now.
No. If I receive discount, what do you call the people I receive discount from? Creditors. So the two accounts are discount received and creditors. Discount received is an income, so it should be a credit in discount received, and it should be a debit in creditors. Not bank, because it doesn't involve me getting or spending money. Okay? So the suspense discount received was entered only in the discount account, so I didn't put it in the other account. What was the other account here? Creditors. I never put it in creditors. Which side of creditors should it have been on? You'll need to go back and have a look at this, gents. Okay, my creditors, do they owe more or less? Do we owe them more or less when we get a discount? Less. So debtors and creditors you see in the trial balance. Debtors is 82, creditors 87,800. So I'm going to put those numbers in. So debtors is 82. And creditors is 87,800. Now I've already adjusted creditors because of one of the notes we have earlier on. This was the first note that we saw about goods in transit. I added 8 grand because I bought goods and I haven't actually put them into the accounts yet. So 200 is going to have to be taken away from creditors. So the new creditors figure is this number here. Okay? Now, is that a debit or a credit in creditors? The creditors is a liability. So this is a liability. If I make that smaller because of our discount, is that debit or credit? It's a debit, which means my suspense in the other account must be a credit. Okay, to even it out. Okay, so where I'm looking here for suspense, and they've mixed in suspense in this question in with office expenses. And office expenses is 14,830. Now let's just put this in first. So office expenses is going to be not in the manufacturing account. Just get rid of actually this load of gap there I want to get rid of. Shift those up. Okay, so the office expenses would have been listed down here in my administration expenses. So office expenses at the moment is 14,830. Now, I have to put my suspense in there. I put a debit in my creditors, which means I need to put a credit in the suspense, a credit in office expenses. Does that make office expenses bigger or smaller? If I credit office expenses, what type of account is office expenses? Asset, liability, expense, or income?
Office expenses.
Yeah. Hint, it's in the name. It's an expense. So if expenses normally appears in the bookkeeping key on which side, debit or credit? Okay, some people are a bit unsure. You may need to have a look at the bookkeeping key to remind you. Okay, the square. So office expenses in the debit column. So if I credit it, am I making the expense bigger or smaller? Smaller. So I'll be taking away 200 from that. Okay? And I'm just going to do one more. So we've dealt with suspense. Depreciation then, I presume you shouldn't have a problem doing depreciation. I'm just going to do the plant and machinery because we've messed with plant and machinery already a few minutes ago. Plant and machinery is 10% of cost. So I go up to plant and machinery. And plant and machinery is associated with the factory. So the depreciation of plant and machinery is going to be over here in the manufacturing account. So depreciation of plant and machinery is going to be 10%, so it's 0.1, multiplied by the figure that we have at the moment for plant and machinery, which is 86,400, after the 3 grams taken out. And then that 8640, we will add that to the accumulated depreciation. Is that okay? All right. So that's just the second video. If you want to move on.